All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Welcome to another session of Planescape Torment with myself, the Disorderly Tick, and my streaming partner, Motley Oleander. It's good to have everybody.
Welcome in, welcome in. It's a good day. It is a good day. Hi, Dragon Monsters.
Hello, welcome.
All right, I think we're ready to just dive on in, aren't we, Tick?
Yeah, I think we are. All right. So let's see. All right. So, the last time we played, we spent most of the last session talking to the various people or the various people at at a place called the Brothel of Slating Intellectual Lusts, which is actually it was a very nice place to go through. It's it's an establishment run by the Society of Sensation, or as they're more colloquially known as the Sensates, a faction of Sigil that believes that experiencing all that the senses can, all that you can feel with the senses throughout the multiverse is the best way to gain knowledge and understanding. And there were a lot of very interesting and pleasant to talk to NPCs in that brothel, and a lot of fun dialogue and quests that we did there. But after that, we ended last week's session here in the Civic Fest Hall, which is another establishment and it's the main establishment of the Society of Sensation. We've gone to this place because we're trying to
let us not squander it.
We're trying to gain knowledge as to the whereabouts of Ravel Puzzlewell, the night hag that stole the protagonist's mortality.
I'm gone.
Let's do it.
Jomi. This stern-looking older woman seems to be looking for someone. Her eyes fix upon your face as you approach her. You there. Might I have a word with you? Yes. You're Jomi, correct? I spoke to your messenger.
Updated my journal.
I am pleased to meet you then. She gives a slight bow. I will make you a somewhat unusual proposal. Though you must admit you are an unusual man. I will give you 1,000 copper commons for your permission to kill you. Are you open to discussion on the matter? But what? Jomi doesn't bat an eyelash. But why not? I thought it might be an interesting experience, paying someone for the privilege of murdering them. When I first heard rumors of your existence, how could I resist? So, what is your answer? Shall we discuss the matter in greater detail? One moment. Where did you hear these rumors? Jomi frowns. One hears all sorts of things in the fest hall. How can one not eventually hear of a man like you? Again, I ask, will you consider my proposal? Yes. Let's work out the details. After a short discussion, it comes down to the following terms. Jomi will pay you 1,500 copper commons. In return, you will allow her to drive her dagger into your heart. She will wait for you to awaken, at which point she will give you the coin. Do you agree to this, then? Yes. Let's do it. The affair is over in moments. She's already cleaned her blade and put it away by the time you recovered. After picking yourself up off the fest hall floor, Jomi hands you several rolls of copper coins while you rub your aching chest. Somewhat disappointing, I must admit. Ah, well. Coins well spent nonetheless. Farewell. Yes, farewell.
Updated my journal.
That's one way to go about a day.
Splinter regards you coolly as you approach. We welcome you once more to the Civic Fest Hall, traveler. How may we help you? How can you help me? We do many things in this fine hall, traveler. We answer questions guests might have regarding it or its inhabitants. We direct both visitors and members of the Society of Sensation alike to the sensoriums or lecture halls. We also accept new members into the society. Lastly, it is through us that purchases from the society's vaults are made. Spells, items, and such. What lectures are there to attend? The Fest Hall's current speakers include Death's Advocate, who speaks of death and what follows it, Geistis the Crooked, who speaks of the Blood War, and Three Planes Aligned, who speaks of the power of alignment and belief. Assuming they are currently here and well, we could direct you to one of their lectures at any time. I had a question about something else. We will be pleased to answer what questions we can, so long as they pertain to the Fest Hall or the Society of Sensation. I wanted to ask about you. There's little to say that we have not told you. We are the Splinter, Dorman to the Fest Hall, demigod son of Isahar and priest king of Planewalkers come to our world and told us of the Society of Sensation. We were fascinated and returned with them. We left in the capable hands of our queen so that we might come to this place and experience servitude and humility for a time. As time does not pass here as it does in the century we have spent here will be as a mere several months in our own world. After another decade or so, we imagine we shall be ready to return to and rule it once more. I see. I see. I had another question. Tell me about the Fest Hall. The Civic Fest Hall is one of the largest buildings in Sigil, fitting as it is home to the Society of Sensation, the city's largest faction. It holds the sensoriums, lecture halls, training chambers, and such for visitors and members of the society alike. Tell me about the Society of Sensation. The core of a sensate's belief is that the multiverse can only be truly known through the senses. If one cannot sense it, then a thing isn't. Only through experience, through experiencing all the sensations to be had, can the full truth of the multiverse be revealed. The Society of Sensation, then, is where experiences gather and are shared with others, usually via the sensoriums. I had another question. Is there somewhere I could rest here? There are lodgings within the Fest Hall, but only members of the Society of Sensation are permitted to use them. Should you wish to visit them, walk eastwards through the Fest Hall from here. You will eventually come to them. The clerk there allows sensates into their rooms. Ah, hello, Nikki Nightmare. Welcome. Good to have you. So, are there no other ways to get a room here? You must be a member of the Society of Sensation. There was someone I was looking for here. Who was it you were seeking, traveler? Merriman. Merriman is usually pacing back and forth around the lecture halls. Travel through the middle door on the eastern wall, and the door beyond that as well. Middle door, eastern wall. Okay. He will likely be wandering within the hallway you find yourself in. Montague, a factotum here. Montague is a busy young man. He can usually be found moving between his chamber and three that lie along its eastern wall. Is there anyone here who might know about Revel Puzzlewell? Splinter closes his eyes and thinks briefly. We would recommend that you speak to a wizard by the name of Quell about Revel. Quell is always somewhere in the Fest Hall, most often in the private sensorium. How could I get into the private sensorium? You must be a member of the Society of Sensation. Can you show me to the sensoriums? There are two. The public sensorium, where visitors may use the sensory stones for anywhere between 10 and 50 commons, and the private sensorium, where only members of the Society of Sensation are allowed. You can reach neither of them yourself. We must take you there. Wait, I had a question about something else. How could I buy something from the Sensei Vaults? You must be a member of the Society of Sensation. Take me to the public sensorium, then.
Done.
Ah, hello, Killer Fun Times. Welcome. Good to have you.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Nikki Nightmares.
Sensory Stone. This is an unusual bluish-purple stone. It is securely fastened to the pedestal that it rests upon. Leave. Hmm.
Dragon tongue.
Are you talking about the Elder Scrolls Dragon Tongue?
That's what I was assuming as well, Tick. Nice. That's neat. We hope we can cure a bit of that boredom for you. Oh, she's gonna love that.
I'm just investigating all these sensoriums before I talk to anybody.
Good plan. No, I really miss the intellectual stimulation of the brothel. It was such a fun spot. That's gonna stick with me for a while.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite place in the whole game so far.
My desk was a little too crowded, and my cat has decided that I needed to clear it off, so she yelled at me until I cleared it off, and she's currently sat in between my arms, just chilling out.
All right. Done.
All right, that's all of them. Now, there she is. Lady Thorncombe. This comely, middle-aged woman is wandering about dreamily, absent-mindedly chewing on her thumbnail. Her eyes seem focused on nothing in particular. She is dressed in elegant yet disheveled finery, and her hair is slightly tousled. Greetings. She takes her thumb from her mouth, smoothing back a strand of hair that had fallen in front of her eyes. I had some questions. Very well. Ask what you wish. She sounds apathetic. I had questions about you. As you begin to ask your question, you realize she's now looking at you, let alone paying you any attention. Hello? I had a question. Very well. Ask what you wish. She sounds apathetic. I had questions about this place. Never mind, actually. Farewell. Sensei Guide. This man's gentle voice complements his calm and refined demeanor. Greetings. Are you here to use one of the sensory stones? Yes, I am. There are currently more than a dozen standard sensations available, as well as 6 more extravagant experiences. The use of a standard stone is 10 copper commons. The more involved ones will cost 150 coppers. Would you care to hear of the standard or the extravagant sensations? The standard. The man smiles and explains to you some of the various sensations that are currently available for your perusal. Will one of these suit you? Unavoidable pain will do. Good. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, one room clockwise from the stairwell. It is greenish yellow in color. Thanks. Farewell. One room clockwise from the stairwell. Ah, I see. So it's this one. This greenish-yellow stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Unavoidable Pain. Begin the sensation. The experience is a short and violent one. Struggling with another, slightly stronger man on the edge of a blazing hot stream of molten lava, your weapon hand is slowly, inexorably forced ever closer to the magma. Beads of sweat evaporate the instant they appear. The hair on the back of your hand blackens and smolders above the awesome heat. Finally, your howls of suffering echoing from the canyon walls around you. Your hand and the axe it holds plunges into the lava and chars to ash in a few agonizing seconds. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Leave. I trust you enjoyed the sensory experience. Something I may do for you now? I'd like another session. Tender love will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 2 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is light blue in color. This light blue stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience, Tender Love. Begin the sensation. Your eyes are closed. You can sense yourself standing on the tips of your toes, pressed against someone tightly. Soft, soft lips brush against yours, giving you the most gentle of kisses. Your heart seems to flutter in your chest, and you feel as if you could fall backwards and simply float off into space. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you gained something from using the sensory stone. Mind-numbing tedium will do. Mind-numbing tedium will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 3 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is violet in color. This violet stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Mind-numbing tedium. Begin the sensation. The experience couldn't be more than a few minutes long, but hours seemed to pass. A long, boring lecture in the driest, dustiest hall in the University of Chalm and Sigil. You look about the vast hall, hoping to catch someone's eye to pull a face at, but the other students are either asleep or staring listlessly into space. You drop your quill pen, pick it up, and drop again, just for something to do. You consider stabbing yourself in the eye with it, just to see if your senses haven't been wholly numbed by the incredible boredom. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seemed to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you gained something from using the sensory stone.
That's amusing.
Sheer wonder will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 4 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is greenish-yellow in color. Thanks. Farewell. This greenish-yellow stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Sheer Wonder. Begin the sensation. Hesitantly, you open your mouth and take a shallow breath, and water flows into your lungs like cool air. You smile and take a deep breath, gawking in all directions as you slowly sink to the bottom of the harbor, where hundreds of colorful fish weave through twisting tracks of brilliant coral. As your feet touch bottom, you peer up at the keel of your ship and laugh aloud with joy, a string of great bubbles shooting up towards the surface. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Consuming impatience will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 5 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is reddish-orange in color. This reddish-orange stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Consuming Impatience. Begin the sensation. You stand debating with Amnas, the horribly slow, keeper of the Lion Key, as to whether or not your quest is important enough for him to relinquish the artifact into your care. The whole experience is an exercise in sheer torment. Each and every one of his words is followed by a significant pause. Each and every point he makes is reiterated time and again before he lets you speak. You present an argument, then wait, and wait, and wait, while he makes his counterpoint, to which you shoot out a snappy counterpoint of your own. then must wait yet again for another of Amnes's drawling, meandering, seemingly endless counterpoints. It's everything you can do not to simply lop the fiend's tusked head off and snatch the key from the twitching corpse. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you gained something from using the sensory stone. Tired surrender will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 6 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is violet in color. This violet stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Tired Surrender. Begin the sensation. Shuddering, shattering, hoping beyond hope to be found, you coil into yourself beneath a blanket of snow to save what little warmth you have left. Fighting to keep your eyes open, to remain awake, you become aware that you can no longer feel your arms, your legs, the ice against your face. And tired, so tired, you at last resign to the inevitable. You close your eyes, bidding sleep a bitter welcome as the sense of loss forces a single tear, doomed to crystallize before it even reaches your cheek, from your aching eyes. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Supernatural lust will do. A good choice. The stone you want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 7 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is light blue in color. This light blue stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Supernatural Lust. Begin the sensation. You find yourself coupling with a succubus, a creature of such intense, otherworldly beauty that even her fiend's horns and thrashing tail give you no pause. She gasps under you. You desire her so completely that the whole of your existence seems focused towards this single goal. As your life explodes from you in a starry burst, you hear the delighted laughter of the succubus as she drains you dry, leaving your body but a soulless husk. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone.
That was tastefully done.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting I expected to be a little bit more
Body?
graphic. Yes, a deeper description of the body, but that was really well done.
Well, I was referring to the term body.
I was referring to just describe. I was thinking it would be more of a descriptive experience rather than focusing on the fact that he was enthralled to the point where he didn't realize he was in danger.
Tell me about some of the others. The man nods and explains several sensations that are available for your use. Will one of these suit you? Psychosis will do. Good. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 1 room clockwise from the stairwell. It is greenish-yellow in color. Thanks. Farewell. 1 room clockwise? From the stairwell? This one? Interesting. This greenish-yellow stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Psychosis. Begin the sensation. The experience is a strange one, very disturbing. You have the point of a knife pressed to someone's throat, your hand clamped over their mouth, and breath hot and heavy in their face. You begin to stab them, slowly. The knife dimples their skin and eventually breaks it. There's the hot rush of blood over your forearm, the sound of strangled respiration, a horrible sense of perverted glee. And it is over. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Festering jealousy will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 2 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is light blue in color. This light blue stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience, festering jealousy. Begin the sensation. You feel your lip curl as the fair-haired young hero, armor gleaming like a polished silver mirror, once again enters your tavern. Hanging his velvet cloak on a wall peg, he surveys your patrons with a pair of eyes like sea gems and a smile that sets the serving wenches swooning. You set the mug you're cleaning down and harumph loudly, thinking of what it'd be like to turn him upside down and shove him in a rain barrel. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Bitter loathing will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 3 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is violet in color. This violet stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience, bitter loathing. Begin the sensation. Venomous tears of pain brimming in your narrow yellow eyes, you gather the tattered remains of your small, scaled, red wings off the floor. You humbly back out of Groba's study, gritting your needle-like teeth beneath sealed lips. Sure, you're only a spinagon, at least among devils, but that's no cause for a pit fiend to tear your wings off because he doesn't like the message you brought him. What will your Gilugon master do now? He certainly can't say anything to Groba, and what use is a spinagon without its wings? You'll probably get cast into the pit of flame for incompetence. Vengeance out of the question. There's little to do but shake your clawed fists and hate Groba with all the loathing your hard little black devil's heart can muster. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Pure glee will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 4 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is greenish yellow in color. This greenish yellow stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. With it lies the experience, pure glee. Begin the sensation. Dancing and leaping about in rhythm with the wood elves' bouncing festival music, you and a dozen other dancers spin through the forest clearing like a whirling dervish, smiling and laughing like mad. As the cheering forest dwellers whoop, clap, and dance alongside you, fairies careen through the air above your heads, leaving sparkling trails of colored light. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Leave. Frightened exhilaration will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 5 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is reddish-orange in color. This reddish-orange stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Threatened Exhilaration. Begin the sensation. You twist your head to look up at the large contraption strapped to your back. A set of 4 bat-like wings extend from out of it, each made of leather pulled taut over wicker frames. From the precipice you are perched on, Diligyar's floating fortress appears as but a tiny speck suspended in a blue-gray sky. Miles away across nothing but empty air. This is how everyone travels on the plane of air, they said. It's easy. You smirk, step back a ways, and make a running leap off the cliff into the cool wind below, leaving your stomach behind. As the wings suddenly catch the air, an amazing rush shudders through your entire body as you soar out over the nothingness and towards the elemental prince's abode. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Grim Determination will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 6 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is violet in color. This violet stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience Grim Determination. Begin the sensation. The entire hall was in ruins and still in the process of being destroyed, as dozens of combatants hurled weapons, deadly, arcane magics, and themselves at one another in a desperate struggle to be the last one standing. Plumes of acrid green smoke rose from the pile of limp bodies you dragged yourself out of, having barely escaped the wrath of some fiendish spell. And there it was, across the way, through the battling throng, through the bloodthirsty battle ahead of you, sitting untouched on a miraculously upright table, your pint of mead, and you'd get it back if you had to kill every last one of the brawling tavern patrons to do it. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Complete bafflement will do. A good choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the smaller chambers, 7 rooms clockwise from the stairwell. It is light blue in color.
Done.
This light blue stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Hold on. Okay. I felt a sneeze coming on, but it never came out. Within it lies the experience complete bafflement. Begin the sensation. You awake from uneasy dreams to find yourself transformed in your dank lair into a rather small, 4-limbed, fleshy thing. You're lying on your shellless as if it were wholly unprotected back, and when you lift your tiny head, unadorned with its usual sensory antennae, a little you can see your pinkish belly, partly covered in soft, curling hairs, quite unlike the black bristles you're accustomed to seeing there. Your only two legs now jut from the end of your torso, rather than up from around your abdomen. They look thick and ungainly in proportion to your body, and lie there limply, making no attempt to right you on their own. Only by actively concentrating can you move the things. What has happened to you? Honestly, the way they worded that alone caused me complete bafflement.
Yeah, that hurt. Gee. That felt like a stroke.
Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Leave. Actually, can you tell me about the extravagant ones? The man nods, smiling, and explains the more involved sensations. Will one of these suit you? Horrible regret will do. A fine choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the larger chambers, 3 rooms counterclockwise from the stairwell. It is reddish-orange in color. Thanks. Farewell. Counterclockwise, 1, 2, 3. This reddish-orange stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience horrible regret. Begin the sensation. You stand on the deck of your flagship, the Divine Hammer, as it floats over the continent of Agarheim, held aloft by the winds of magic. The very landscape roils and shudders beneath the bombardment of your fleet. 1,000 ships, cannons, and bombards hurling their sorcerous fire down like vengeful gods. The shockwaves began to hit your ship only minutes ago, a constant vibration that sends shudders through the whole of the ancient craft and moves your very bones, accompanied by a constant rumbling bass. As the land's mountains began to sink and the seas that surround it began to boil off into the atmosphere, your first officer comes to stand beside you. Continue experience. Sorry about that. I accidentally disconnected my headset for a moment. Anyways. My Lord Admiral, permission to speak freely, sir. You nod your acquiescence, your stomach sinking as you guess at his question. My lord, forgive me, but how? What gives us the right? 1 billion lives. Continue experience. You speak without turning to him, unable to take your eyes of Rumos, the nation's vast capital city, as it vaporizes into a cloud of superheated gases 12 miles across and growing ever wider. If only you knew the full treachery of the Agarites, First Officer Felm, one which is beyond most any man's comprehension, then you would know. You would speak of our right to annihilate them? We've no right to let them live. Continue experience. But, sir, traitors, all of them, surely among the hundreds of thousands, how many innocents? Silence! Speak of it no more. Our king has spoken. His will be done. The task set to us is a horrible one, not fit for contemplation or questioning. There is no room for pity, no room for remorse, only duty. Continue experience. The two of you stand silently for a time, watching the last minutes of Agarheim. At long last you sigh, a low, stuttering exhalation that sounds as if something has broken inside you. Beneath the brazen plate that covers the ruined half of your face, your dead eye begins to weep. Continue experience. Falm, my friend, I would have you understand. I know now, as I look down at what I have wrought here, that were I to think upon what I have done, what I have truly done, I would be struck mad. A deed such as this, the anguish would overwhelm, destroy me. So, First Officer Falm, it must be that there are no innocents in Nagarim. No mothers, no children, no people. Only traitors. Vile, cunning traitors who deserve no less than the full brunt of our most holy king's wrath. Do you understand this? Continue experience. Yes, my lord. Good. Now go. I wish to be alone here. By your command, Lord Admiral. Falm bows his head and returns below deck, leaving you to stand over the end of a civilization. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you gained something from using the sensory stone. Leave. Okay, that literally sounds exactly like what a exterminatus would be in Warhammer 40k.
I agree. I was going to say that is this Warhammer? Are they signaling to Warhammer? That was beautifully done. Terribly beautifully.
Shock and arise deceiving vengefulness will do. Excellent. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the larger chambers, 2 rooms counterclockwise from the stairwell. It is violet in color. Thanks. Farewell. This violet stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience shock and arise deceiving vengefulness. Begin the sensation. You stand somewhere in the nether regions of the plains, a sweltering place where the ground is beaten copper and the sky is of brass. Here, the bodies of sinners, petitioners in this horrid place, are rolled amongst iron brambles and bronze scorpions until their bones are fine, gray dust. Continue experience. You squint at the horizon, the bone dust rising with putrid-smelling gusts of wind that carry with them the sound of agonized moaning. There is nothing but flat, metallic landscape as far as the eye can see. The dust is everywhere, in everything. It stings at your eyes, coats the insides of your mouth with a pasty film. You spit, wiping at it with your finger, but it's of no use. The stuff's taste has fouled your mouth completely. Continue experience. You look down at the key in your hand, a minute platinum orb, and picture the man's face who solemnly swore to you the magical portal you just passed through, now gone, of course, led to the green fields of Bytopia. Someone, by all the powers and their proxies, was going to pay for this one. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Slowly dawning horror will do. Wonderful. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the larger chambers, 1 room counterclockwise from the stairwell. It is blue-violet in color. This bluish-purple stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience slowly dawning horror. Begin the sensation. How good could it be, you'd think, regarding the burgundy liquid carefully. Across the table from you, the twisted old man smiles slyly. Please, sir, try, he whispers, his hushed voice the sound of dry leaves blown over a roughly cobbled street. Thou shalt find it more than lives up to thy expectations, I am sure. Continue experience. You nod at him and lift the crystal goblet into the air, watching the light play through the crimson liquor. You'd come a long way for this drink. Searched long and hard for this old man, and you'll be damned to let anything rush you, now. The moment was to be savored. Continue the experience. You raise the glass to your lips, inhaling the stuff's aroma. The bouquet is light, sweet, intoxicating, almost dizzyingly so. You've tried countless drinks, written tomes about them, their flavors and smells, means of manufacture, in your journeys across the plains. But this stuff was supposed to be legendary. No living man you'd found or heard of had tried this stuff. The stories were ridiculous. Nothing could taste quite so good. But if there were the slightest bit of truth to them, this would be some fine liquor indeed. Continue experience. At last, you drink of the goblet, a cautious sip. Continue experience. Incredible! Indescribable! As the flavor washes over your palate, you fight the urge to shudder with delight. Nothing you have tried in all your long years has tasted quite like this. You look up at the old man, startled to find your glass empty. You had drained it all in a single draught. You wipe your tears with the back of your hand, not entirely sure when you had begun to cry. Continue experience. Tears of joy, eh? The old man laughs softly. Quite pleasing to the tongue, is it not? Wouldst thou like some more, perchance? He smiles at you once more. Yes, if I might. Continue experience. Surely, he replies, refilling your glass. Try as you might, you cannot resist downing it in a single gulp. You thrust your finger into the goblet in an attempt to find some last hidden drop of the stuff. Several times more does he fill the goblet, and each time you gulp the stuff down as a starving man would devour a feast, unable to control yourself, to deny yourself another exquisite taste of it. Continue experience. He chuckles softly once more. A drink such as this, a man would do anything for it, no? You nod without hesitation. Yes, a man would. Looking at him, his sly smile suddenly takes on a whole new meaning. A sense of horror begins to creep over you, even as you begin to yearn painfully for more of the blood-red liquor. Continue experience. Yes. The old man grins, his yellow eyes gleaming. A man wouldst do anything in the thrall of such a drink, even the most terrible, the most heinous of deeds, as thou shalt see, my newest servant. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Indescribable frustration will do. A fine choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the larger chambers, 3 rooms counterclockwise from the stairwell. It is reddish-orange in color. This reddish-orange stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience indescribable frustration. Begin the sensation. You can see it now, the crown of Hathon, gleaming upon a marble pedestal. No more than 20 strides away it is. With it, you could wrest control of the armies of Aphanopolis away from your treacherous brother and restore your father's kingdom. A fool your wretched brother was. You smile grimly at the thought. To leave the king's only daughter alive, thinking she could do him no harm. Continue experience. A sound! The creak of leather sandals, the softest hiss. Over there, by that 3rd pillar. She was close now. Palafi the Medusa, jealously guarding the crown her servants had stolen for her so long ago. Crouching behind a wide pillar, you wrap your hand tightly around your trusted, thrice-blessed javelin. With your helm of swiftness and 100 mirrored shield, even a beast such as Polafi would be no match for you. Any moment now, she would round the pillar and meet the sight of you. Even if you turned away from the shield, your javelin would surely find her throat. Continue the experience. Suddenly, there is a gentle touch on your shoulder. You gasp, spinning around to face, of course, the Medusa. Accepting the inevitable, you only have time to loose a piercing cry of frustration before your lungs, and every other part of you, solidifies into cold, gray stone. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. A vastly important secret will do. Excellent. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the larger chambers, 2 rooms counterclockwise from the stairwell. It is violet in color. This violet stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience, a vastly important secret. Begin the sensation. Six Imperial servants rush ahead of you, swinging the golden doors of the Dragon Palace wide. Long live the Empress! They cry in unison. 1,000 years! Long live the Empress! 1,000 years! Continue experience. Beyond the threshold, dozens of loyal warlords, kings in their own right, drop to their knees, touching their heads to the floor in deference as you pass them en route to the Grand Imperial throne. Continue experience. As you turn and face your minions, seating yourself upon the Imperial throne, you allow a small, satisfied smile to creep across your carefully painted lips. There is but one thought in the forefront of your mind. Continue experience. That the body of the young Empress, Wu Sun Sha, lies broken at the bottom of the Well of Solitude, and that you, Bai Hua, a horse merchant's daughter, are at last poised to shake the empire and the corrupt Wu dynasty to its very foundations. Stir yourself from the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Lycanthropy will do. Wonderful. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the larger chambers, 1 room counterclockwise from the stairwell. It is blue-violet in color. This bluish-purple stone is the one that the clerk directed you towards. Within it lies the experience lycanthropy. Begin the sensation. Suddenly aware that the hour has almost come, you leap from your bed and run flying from your cottage and into the surrounding woods. Stumbling in the dark, you come to a small, moonlit clearing, the one you had found last week and decided to use tonight. You hastily strip off your clothes, sit in the long grass, and wait. Continue experience. You close your eyes, listening to the steady chirp of crickets, the throaty croaking of bullfrogs in the nearby creek, the rustle of the grass as the wind caresses it. What would someone think, seeing this through your eyes, experiencing this moment and what was next to come? Soon you would travel to the city, find a cleric to rid you of the curse. But for now, you may as well make the best of things. You rub your hands together with anticipation, grinning like a bearded, fire-haired giant of a madman, sitting naked and alone in the forest clearing in the dead of night. Continue experience. A prickling sensation runs across your skin, and your senses sharpen dramatically. You breathe in through your nose, inhaling the scent of everything around you. The damp earth, the sweat on your cast-off clothes, the possum clinging fearfully to the tree behind you. Continue experience. You open your eyes and look down at your forearms. The faint moonlight reveals the slightest quivering across their surface. But in moments, the flesh begins to ripple impossibly, tufts of thick brown fur sprouting forth, with a grisly crackling sound, like popping joints and grinding bones. Your back and shoulders begin to hunch and broaden, uncomfortable but not quite painful. Your muscles, your entire body mass, doubles, triples in size, and continues to grow. Continue the experience. Still fascinated by the transformation yourself, you watch as your fingers wither away to nothing, hands swelling into meaty paws from which burst fur and massive black claws. The night seems to become brighter as your eyes transform, become accustomed to the darkness. A wide muzzle comes into view, and you touch your wet, snuffling nose delicately, chuckling to yourself. Next time, you think, you'll have to stare into a mirror or pond as the curse takes effect. Watch your face warp and change, losing its familiar shape to become a bear's. Continue experience. Soon, it becomes difficult to concentrate upon anything but your more basic urges. Food will be good, right now. Yes, food. Perhaps you'll get lucky and find a nice, fat catfish in the creek. You rise off your massive haunches with a huff and begin to amble through the trees on all fours, heading for the water's edge. Stir yourself in the experience. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory in your own mind. You feel as if you've gained something from using the sensory stone. Okay, I think that was the last one. That was a lot.
That was a very, that was unique, to say the least. I do like the Sensates quite a bit as a grouping.
Yeah. Let me just make sure that's everything. Check. Check. Again. Okay. I had some questions. The man nods. This is the public sensorium, whose chambers hold recorder or sensory stones. Each of the stones contains a particular sensation, or set of sensations, which a user can experience for his or herself. A sensate is free to use them at their leisure, while visitors must pay a small fee. Does this answer your questions? No. Then I cannot help you, unless, of course, you would care to make use of the stones. No thanks. Farewell. There is nothing hidden behind the bars which adorn the face of this pillar.
I'm gone.
This throne appears as old as the building itself. It looks unused, more a piece of artwork than a ruler's seat. Scroll of Force Missiles. Missiles of Force accurately strike down and blast its intended victims. Like the magic missile, This spell creates a mystical globe of magical energy, which will successfully hit its targets for 2 to 8 points of damage, regardless of saving throw. It then explodes with a concussive blast that does 1 point of damage per level of the caster within a 3-foot radius. If a saving throw is made, then this concussive damage is negated. The wizard creates 1 missile at 7th, plus an additional missile every second level after 7th, for a max of 7 missiles. This rack of wooden sparring weapons holds nothing of interest to you. This sparring dummy has suffered much abuse at the hands of warriors in training. This dummy is adorned with pockets, purses, pouches, and dozens of tiny bells. This rusted iron plate, bolted to the wall, is pitted, corroded, cracked, melted, and scorched in various places. Merriman. This man looks like a bitter, cantankerous old codger. His mouth is twisted into a frown that becomes even more severe as he notices you coming his way. Merriman my name may be, but merry I am not. Off with you, young one. No one for the likes of you. Or no time for the likes of you. He goes into a fit of coughing from the exertion of shooing you away so loudly. Wait. Delora wanted me to speak with you. Merriman eyes you suspiciously. That's so. About what, eh? Well? She says that you're her first love, and that so long as you hold the keys to her heart, she'll never be free to love another. She told you that, eh? I'm surprised. Perhaps leaving her under Mistress Grace's tutelage did what I couldn't. Started to develop her feelings. In any case, he pats a pocket on his tunic. I won't just give the keys to you. Wait, those are literally the keys to her heart? He nods. That they are! Delora's a construct. Didn't you know that? A creature of sorcery and clockwork mechanics she is, and one of my finest creations. Merriman sighs. But cold, without emotion or character. I brought her to the brothel and set her, so that she could not leave, in the hopes that the constant contact with so many others would begin to develop her own personality. The keys are the tools used to set her. She wants them because she feels that they're limiting her personal growth now, I suspect. Then why don't you just return them to her? Merryman scowls. Because I've become a cruel and bitter old man who sees he can get something out of you. Go on, then. What do you want? I want to forget. I lived almost 150 years now, and I've seen every sensory stone I've cared to in this grand hall. I have little time left to live, and I'm too weak to go out in search of wholly new experiences. So I need to find a way to forget them all. That way, I can start again in my final days. How can I help?
Updated my journal.
I'll need something. Some item. Some concoction. That will allow me to forget. Like a draught of the river Styx. Something like that. Here, take this mug. It holds a dark bird of a canvas, a sliver of ice from the river Styx. It should wipe your memories clean. Merryman takes the mug and removes a piece of paper from his pocket. He tilts the mug back and takes the ice into his mouth. It melts instantly, leaving him with a somewhat startled expression. Merryman?
Updated my journal.
Merryman looks at you, confused, then at the paper in his hands. He reads aloud. Congratulations, Merryman. You've begun again. Thank the man in front of you and give him the key in your pocket. Speak to Splinter, the man at the door to this building, for more information. He looks to you again. Well, it would seem I owe you thanks, good sir. Here, take this key. I'd best find this Splinter fellow and find out what's going on. Thanks, Merryman. Good luck.
In knowing the teachings of Zerthamon, I have become stronger. Endure. In enduring, grow strong.
Okay. Spell memorization abilities have increased. 2 more hit points, 1 hit point, 1 more hit point from con bonus.
What is your will?
All right.
Keys to Delora's heart. This pair of keys is attached to a keychain from which a heart-shaped charm dangles. The surface of the heart is inscribed with hundreds of tiny numbers, and the word Delora.
That was funny. He was like, nah. Help me forget so I can go through this machine all over again. That is... At least he knows himself.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome, Draconic Dude and Mr. Spock 1. Good to have you.
Welcome, Raiders! Welcome! I hope y'all are having a fantastic evening. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you, guys. They're from Kiefer. Excuse me. Mr. Kiefer.
Oh,
Been lurking on his streams. Fun to watch.
All right.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah, thank you for the raid. Welcome.
Raid glitch on my side. It happens. It's alright. We appreciate everybody stopping by. Oh my goodness, hello. Ah, crap, my cat's got zoomies. I hope everyone's having a good day. Somewhat.
Montague. This handsome young man seems lost in thought, his brow furrowed and a slight frown upon his lips. Greetings. And to thee, sir, hail. What dost thou wish of me? Are you Montague? I need to speak with you about Juliet. Oh? He gives you a puzzled, slightly suspicious look. We'll speak of her later, though. Farewell. Sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. Have a good night.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, go rest. Have a good night.
I overheard her speaking at the brothel. She's having an affair, you know. Thou speak falsely. I would have thee present me proof before I took thy claim as true. I also found these letters. Here, read them. He takes the letters and reads them over. Alas, 'tis true. She has found another who loves her passionately. Ah, heartache is a sensate's fate, I think. I shall move on to another love and let this other suitor have her, considering the passion of his words. Wait. This is all a ruse. Eh? What is this thou speak of? She's trying to trick you into being more passionate. And why does she not simply say something? I don't think it really occurred to her. Apparently not. So what should be done? Nothing, I think. Very well. I shall hold off then on making a response. I hope you can work it out. Farewell.
That
This
did
young
not go how she wanted it to. That did not go how she wanted it to. She wanted all the drama, but that man is such a healthy individual.
This young man still seems troubled. He greets you as you approach. Once more I extend to thee my greetings. There is something thou wished of me? I had some questions. Yes? Who are you? I am named Montague, factotum of the Sensates. Factotum? Verily, sir, a member, if thou like. You had said Sensates? Verily, sir, the Society of Sensation, a faction of Sigil, sir, the largest. Shouldst thou wish to learn more of the Sensates, speak with Splinter. Thou shalt find him just inside the entrance to this building. I had other questions. What are you doing here? I work as an assistant for one of the faction's administrators, though more often now than the past, I find myself perplexed by one of life's strange ways. Such as? Problems of the feminine variety. What's the problem exactly? I don't know what's bothering her. I have tried to cheer her up. I don't know what could be the matter. How are things between you two? Other than the spout of discontent and humdrums, everything is splendid. All that orbits around us does so with tranquility. Our families are more than satisfied with our potential union, and our siblings love me. There is nothing wrong. Perhaps that's a problem. No problems. How dost thou mean that no problems are problems? 'Tis my desire that thou speak plainly, sir. Perhaps she wants a little more spice in your relationship. How wouldst thou know what she wishes? He becomes heated. We love, and we love unconditionally, with none of the sordid or poisonous wrappings that seem to unfold all in young love. I call thee out, sir, and I call thee a recreant knave and a fool. Hold there. Calm yourself. I am sorry. 'Twas the fury of the moment that caused me to speak so. I tender my apologies to thee and thine, good sir. Ah, hello, Charlie. Welcome. Good to have you.
Welcome back, Charlie.
Think nothing of it. It's no matter. Thou art indeed gracious, sir. I had some questions. Yes? I had some questions about this place. The Civic Festival? Thou wouldst do well to speak with Splinter, just inside the entrance to this building. What do you know of Ravel Puzzlewell? The legendary night hag, no? Thou shouldst speak to Quell, sir. He is most knowledgeable regarding such things. He is within the fest hall, though where, I do not know. That's all I wish to know. Farewell.
He was. Maybe that will get him to be a little bit more passionate. He literally just called you a homewrecker. Jesus.
I'm gone. All right.
I wonder what she's gonna say to that.
Juliet looks to you hopefully. Well, anything yet? Montague intended to leave you to your new love, and so I told him it was all a ruse. I'm not sure what he'll do now.
Updated my journal.
Thou told him? Blessed. Now what shall I do? Since he knows everything now, you may as well discuss your feelings about the relationship openly. Juliet nods. 'Tis true enough, yes. I thank thee. My pleasure. Farewell.
I feel stronger.
Summarization, characteristic points. Ooh, characteristic points. Hit points, hit points.
What are we heading to do next?
Give Delora the keys to her heart.
While you, let's see. Oh, there she is.
Delora's eyes flash as she sees you. Did you find them? Has he agreed to return the keys to my heart? Yes. I have the keys to your heart. Here they are.
Updated my journal.
At last. As she takes the keys from your grasp, her hand brushes against yours. Her skin is dry, but icy to the touch, like cold metal. These will be of great use to me. I thank you. Of course, Delora. I have some questions. Of course. I will answer what I can. I was hoping to learn more about your nature. Delora blinks. Merryman never told me much regarding my construction. I know little of the inner workings of my body, much as you likely know little of yours. Outwardly, though, I am a human woman in all respects, save for the texture and temperature of my flesh. Does that satisfy your curiosity? What about your mind, your emotions? Its functions are as much a mystery to me as any human's. When I first came to this place, I did not understand emotions, nor have any of my own. I have feelings now, though I am only beginning to understand them. What do the keys do exactly? I can only assume that Merryman made the keys so that there would be no risk of me drawing away from him before he had tired of his experiment. Now that they are in my possession, I am free to develop and possess my own emotions. I had another question. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute?
Updated my journal.
Yes, her name is Echo. Her voice, and in fact her every means of communication, was stolen and destroyed. Echo's words once wooed away the paramour of the godling Parashima. Parashima, in a jealous rage, tore away Echo's voice, sealed it within a crystal vial, and hurled it into a Megogalamandra's maw. Echo's voice is forever lost to her. Only another, new voice could return to her the ability to communicate once more. I know this because I spoke to Parashima's paramour myself, once. I had another question. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Never really asked that one before.
In knowing the teachings of Zerthamon, I have become stronger.
Huh. Dakon just leveled up twice before either Mort or Anna leveled up even once.
Jesus.
My blade has changed.
Saving throws are improved, fighting skills have improved. Dakon's weapon has changed. 5 hit points, 1 hit point. Oh, it's you again. Just can't get enough of me, huh? I had some questions. She looks annoyed. Fine, whatever. Ask. Never mind, actually. Farewell. Before I go to Echo, I'm just gonna check something back at the Curiosity Shop again.
Bulwark, also known as
All right.
Wankersetti.
All right. Done.
Okay, looks like I bought all the exotic items that she had. Yevra's Ring of Almost Invisibility. Special, +1 to armor class. This is Yevra's Ring of Almost Invisibility. It makes its wearer invisible. Almost. Sometimes, for brief periods, the wearer becomes really, really close to being invisible, an event which is often disconcerting to an attacker, and is thus more difficult to strike in combat.
Done. All right.
Echo. This striking young woman has skin the color of burnished copper. A translucent white dress, held precariously by golden clasps, is draped carefully over her shapely form. Greetings. The woman nods and smiles briefly. The scent of her hair, sweetly perfumed, fills your nostrils. I had some questions. She nods. Is your name Echo?
Updated my journal.
She nods, smiling pleasantly. I had some other questions. She nods. May I ask why you can't communicate? She sighs softly and nods. Was your voice stolen?
Updated my journal.
She nods vigorously, clasping her hands together and smiling at you. Do you know of any way to get your voice back? She shakes her head. Her face is wrought with frustration. She suddenly looks at you pleadingly, as if expecting an answer. Vow, I swear I'll look for a way to return your voice.
Aw.
Echo nods to you slowly, smiling at you with eyes full of gratitude. I'll look for something that will give you a voice then. Farewell,
Updated
Echo.
my journal.
I think I do have something that might work, actually. This. This is a fiend's silvery tongue floating in a jar of brine. It's said that, once placed into the mouth of any living thing, it will give the ability of speech, even if there was none before. Let's see, and then there was something else that I'll probably need to use along with it. Deva's Tears. This is a small glass vial labeled as Deva's Tears. They were collected from a Deva who was captured during a blood war skirmish. The fiends tormented and imprisoned the imprisoned angel for eons before he at last escaped. This small bottle holds the 12 tears he had shed in that time. Deva's tears are said to soothe the most savage anger, even that of a fiend's tongue. So yeah, basically what I'm thinking is I'm gonna have to give her the fiend's tongue so she can speak, and then use the Deva's tears so that the tongue doesn't leave her angry.
That's a good plan, actually.
Echo looks at you hopefully as you approach her, biting her lower lip. I've gotten this fiend's tongue for you. She raises her eyebrow and gives you a skeptical look. I'm told that, should you place it in your mouth, you will regain the ability to communicate. She nods and takes the bottle from you. She gingerly picks out the severed tongue from the briny solution and, after staring at it for a moment in disgust, places it into her mouth. Suddenly, her eyes widen, and there is a burst of reddish light from between her lips. Are you alright? Echo opens her mouth, closes it, then opens it once more, and speaks. I can speak again! Oh, joy! Damn thee to the darkest of pits, thou stench-ridden worm! Kneel before me in supplication, insect! Yikes! Echo yelps and covers her mouth with both hands. Her eyes are wide with panic. It must be the fiend's tongue.
Updated my journal.
She slowly takes her hands away from her mouth, nodding. It seems I must devour thy frail shell and consign thy soul to the abyss for all eternity. Thou shalt serve in my battle thrall till the plains grind to a halt. Thou art mine, mine, mine. Echo shuts her mouth again and begins to softly, quietly weep. Wait, try using these Deva's tears. They should soothe the tongue's cursing.
Updated my journal.
She nods, smiling, and takes the vial from you. Echo places a few of the sparkling blue drops onto her tongue. I believe the tears are working. Yes, they are. I can speak in my own voice once more. Oh, how I thank you. Echo squeezes your hand and bows her head gratefully, her eyes welling with tears of joy. It was my pleasure to help. Farewell, Echo.
Ooh, looks like my skills have increased.
That was amusing, terrifying, and wonderful. At least we're able to figure out what she needed. The poor thing.
+1 fist fighting skills have improved. 10 hit points. 2 from con. Echo waves pleasantly to you as you approach her. Greetings, sir, and well met once more. Hello, Echo. I had some questions. She nods. What are you doing here? I am a student here, as are all the prostitutes. We seek to better learn the art of language in order to stimulate the minds, to heighten our awareness of ourselves and others, and to create new ways of experiencing another person. She pauses, lost in thought. Go on. Well, I've been without the ability to speak for so long. Most patrons came to me seeking someone to listen, someone attentive and capable of understanding them that they could speak to, free of interruption and the like. Now that I can speak once more, I wonder if the time has come for me to move on. Leave the brothel and become a sensei. Interesting. Let me ask you something else. She nods. Can you tell me about this place? The brothel is a school of sorts, where young women, the prostitutes, she gives a wry smile, study the art of language and its subtleties, as our Mistress Grace might say, generally en route to becoming sensates. The brothel runs on the donations of its many patrons, who come here seeking something more than base, physical pleasure in the company of a woman. I had another question. She nods. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Echo nods and lowers her voice. In fact, I do. Not only does she exist, she has children. She what?
Updated my journal.
One of them is here at times. Kesai Ceres. She is a child of Ravel's, though she is loath to accept the fact. Who could blame her? She pauses for a moment, thinking. I have never gotten her to admit it, though I am sure 'tis true. Interesting. I had another question. Never mind, actually. Farewell. Kesai Sarah smiles warmly as you draw near her, pushing a wavy lock of hair away from her bright, crimson eyes. Well, greetings once again. Something I can do for you? Kesai, are you Ravel's daughter? Kesai suddenly bares her teeth, her eyes narrowing to slits of blazing crimson. What? Where did you hear such a thing? Echo told me.
Updated my journal.
Ridiculous! I think I know if that wicked hag was my own mother. Now stop bothering me about it. Who is your mother, then? I don't know, alright? My father raised me. I never knew her. But do I look like a night hag to you? Well, there is the skin. And the eyes. And maybe the teeth, too. Kesai Ceres glares at you, her eyes blazing. Perhaps we'll speak later. But I'm no longer in the mood. Farewell. Farewell. Kasai smiles warmly as you draw near her, pushing a wavy lock of hair away from her bright, crimson eyes. Don't worry, I don't stay upset long. Something I can do for you? Nothing, thanks. Farewell. She arches her eyebrows. A tease, eh? Kasai smiles at you, narrowing her flashing red eyes. Come back when you'd like to talk, Leave.
The fact that you just listed off all the traits of a night hag, and she was like, all right. Leave me alone.
Done. I'm gone.
Sarhava Vijur. The smell of alcohol wafts heavily from this young woman, and despite her dark skin, you can see that her face, beautiful but cruel looking, is flushed. She is slender but well muscled, adorned in exotic jewelry and translucent silk clothing. Numerous scars crisscross her thighs and forearms. They look to be from battle wounds. Greetings. Well, what have we here? A little tiefling gutter queen come crawling out of the hive? The woman pouts, talking as one would to a small child. Are you lost, little tiefling? Oh, look! It has a tail! How cute! Anna flushes, and with a snarl, blades sprout from her fists. Now, fiendkind, don't do that. The woman seems unconcerned as Anna draws her weapons, and clucks disapprovingly with her tongue. Careful now, or I'll remove that tail of yours and feed it to my dogs. Enough, girl. Apologize to her, or I'll be cutting bits of you off. What foul thing gave birth to you, Sarah? She grimaces in disgust, then laughs harshly. And such a stench! Be you one of Death's bastards? You notice the curved long knife hanging at her hip. Her hand rests loosely upon its pommel. Want me to slap this barmy chit down, Chief? Show no mercy, Mort. Mort winks at you and calls to the woman. Hey, you! That's right, you there, you saucy little tart. Look at me when I talk to you. What's got you so bitter, The woman, caught off guard, does not reply. Aw, does the little desert princess have her britches in a bunch because the sultan wanted another son? Tell me, desert princess, do you spend most of your nights drunken and belligerent, followed about by a handful of leering sycophants, looking in your own pathetic way to justify your existence to a disapproving fodder? What? How dare? Do you really think your petty brawling will finally make you feel better about yourself? Feel like you're worth something? Because it won't! If this is your sad little path to feeling better about who you are, I suggest you just give up, go home, and marry off into some courtier's harem. Mort turns to you. See, Chief? I know what's going to happen here. We all know Mort's right on the ball with this one, but no. Proud little desert princess, cut down in public, humiliate. The woman draws her blade and, snarling like an enraged animal, lunges at Mort. Let things happen as they will. Oh. I'll just try calling the guards.
Good plan. That was vicious, though.
She gasped in shock. Fool, are you mad? The guards would never take your word over mine. You're obviously drunk, and those scars of yours mark you as the fighting sort. You probably have a reputation for this sort of thing already. I think they just might. She stares hard at you, grinding her teeth. Let us drop the whole matter then, and be on our separate ways. Agreed. You've already wasted enough of my time. Farewell.
Dang.
Salabesh the Onyx, this tall, thin man, dressed in heavy crimson robes, has sharp, pinched features. He bows regally as you approach him. I am Salabesh, oft called Salabesh the Onyx, future mage tutor for the Civic Fest Hall. You've business with me, I take it? No, just some questions. About what, Not the ward and the like, I hope. Plenty of more common folk would answer such questions, and I'd just as soon direct you to one of them. Why are you called the Onyx? A long tale, which I'll shorten to save my breath. In my youth, I was once called Salabesh the Golden, for I was said to have a heart of gold. Small, hard, and yellow. Well, I cursed the fool who started that, so that he could only speak from his arse and defecate through his mouth. The Onyx appellation, along with the same lines as the Golden, though admittedly somewhat less clever, soon followed. In any case, I'm a much kinder fellow now, far less prone to laying curses and the like. I'm not certain if I deserve the name any longer. You cursed him so that... what? Oh yes, you heard right. Salabesh sighs happily and chuckles to himself. That sort of thing is why I'm known as the Master of Curses, you know. I had another question. Salabesh smirks. I am not surprised. What did you mean by future mage tutor of the festival?
Updated my journal.
It's a prestigious position to be an official tutor in one of the Fest Hall's training chambers. It's my intention to one day take the position of mage's tutor, but the title's currently in the possession of the Lady Thorncombe. If only I could somehow prove that I'd be a superior tutor. I had another question. Do you know of a cursed man named Reekwind?
Updated my journal.
Reek? Salabesh's eyebrows suddenly dart up. Oh, yes. Jumbo Murder Sons cursed that man, if I recall correctly. Why? Seeking to get his curse undone? Good luck. Only Jumbo can do that, you know. Where would I find this Jumbo Murder Sense? Within the Civic Fest Hall, I suppose. A short, portly fellow with a leering smile. Never speaks, so you'll be hard-pressed to get anything out of him. Never mind. Farewell.
Done.
Malmanner. This thin, sharp-faced man rushes towards you, calling for your attention. Ah, sir! But a moment of your time. Were you perchance here to visit a tailor? What? The man breaks in. I asked, sir, because I seem to have offended the man. I commissioned the hot-blooded fool to make me a costume, but he's thrown me out of his shop and will not speak with me now. So, what? The man suddenly balls his fist and shakes them at the sky. What have I done to deserve such treatment? Nothing, I say. I was a patron. It is his duty to serve me, that churlish buffoon. What do you want from me? Eh? He focuses on you again. Oh, yes, you. Could I beg of you to enter the place and fetch my costume for me, sir? I have a masquerade to go to, and I have not the time to commission another tailor. Yes, I'll go get it now.
Updated my journal.
Oh, most excellent, sir. Tis this very building, right here. He points to the long, low structure just north of him. I thank you, sir. Farewell. Goncalves sets down something he was working on and nods to you. You've come again, sir. Good. What can I help you with? I had questions. I hope 'tis about garments and the like. I shan't enter anything not concerning myself with the store, you know. I wanted to pick up a dustman costume. You are in luck then, sir. I happen to have one available. Its cost is 30 copper commons. I'll take it. Goncalves takes a set of neatly folded robes from under a counter. Here you are, sir. I would warn you, though. If this is for the upcoming masquerade of Lord Erd, many folk are already attending as dustmen. I'll keep that in mind. Farewell, Goncalves. Dustman costume. This is a well-crafted replica of the dull black robes commonly worn by members of the Dustman faction. Unlike a true Dustman's robes, however, it is made of fine materials and lined with silken padding.
All right.
The man looks at you expectantly. Well? Did you get the costume from Goncalves? Yes, here it is. It cost me 30 commons.
Updated my journal.
Fine. Take it. Here. He tosses you 30 copper commons. Now I have to be off. Wait. Goncalves said many people were already going to this masquerade as dustmen. Did he? Blast! I would hate to arrive in such a common costume. I could go see if he has another ready. Not a bad idea. Not bad at all. Quickly, see if that portly nincompoop has another, would you? I'll return with another costume.
Updated my journal.
I see why he was promptly thrown on his ass.
I'm gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's right in his name. I wanted to pick up another, different costume. Goncalves nods and smiles knowingly. The Dustman bit seemed a bit too common after all, eh? Well, it just so happens that I have a Godsman costume, if you would like. It shall cost you only 50 coppers. I'll take it. Goncalves retrieves a set of folded clothing and a heavy leather apron and work boots from under a counter. Here you are, sir. Enjoy the masquerade. Thanks, Goncalves. Farewell. The man looks at you expectantly. Well, did you get the costume from Gunkel's? Oh, actually, let me do
Updated
this.
my journal.
Okay, well, let me reload actually because I just wanted to read the description on the item.
Sounds like a
Godsman costume. These are well-crafted replicas of the plain, sturdy clothes and work boots that make up the typical Godsman's working garb. Unlike a true Godsman's clothes, however, these are made of fine materials and lined with silken padding. Yes, here it is. It cost me 50 commons.
Updated my journal.
He makes a disgusted noise, snatches the costume from you, and shoves 50 coins into your hands. Now I have to be off. Farewell.
All right.
Eli Havelock. This narrow-eyed, sharp-faced man is scanning his surroundings with a look of vague disinterest, pausing occasionally to look down and pick at his fingernails. Despite being clothed in silk and velvet finery, he manages to look unsavory and more than a little dangerous. Greetings. The man looks your way. His eyes are dark slits, like narrow stab wounds beneath his brow. His voice is low and gruff despite his slender build. Pike off. Not yet. I have some questions. You think I wandered the ward looking for strangers to spill dark for? Now pike off. Why are you here then? To be surly with passerby? Heh. He stands quietly for a moment, then breaks a crooked smile. That's good, Dad. He considers you for a moment. I'm a tutor at the Civic Fest Hall. Name's Havelock. Eli Havelock. As a veteran scout, I teach the art of subterfuge. You mean thievery? His lip curls up in a disgusted sneer. Thieves and thievery it always is. 5 tours I spent as a reconnaissance operative in the War of Lies. Scout is my title. Scout. I teach the ways of stealth and spycraft, not common thievery. My apologies. I meant no offense. Could you train me? Eli frowns sourly. I don't know. I've had enough of teaching petty pickpockets and curious sensates for the time being. Almost to himself, he mumbles. Not sure why I agreed to do it in the first place. Perhaps because by teaching others, you make them aware of your own skill. At the same time, you defend the nobility of your skills by assuring them that you're no common thief, but a scout and spy, a master of subterfuge. Eli nods, mulling over what you've said. Aye, there's no denying it. It's sort of sorry, though, when you look at it that way. I don't think so. Those of your trade are often misunderstood, thrust unfairly into the same category as footpads and brigands. There's nothing wrong with dispelling false notions. Right again you are! He gives you a friendly punch to your shoulder. Thanks, Blood. He suddenly looks off into the distance. Well, enough wasting time out here. I'm heading back to the fest hall. If you still want to learn, that's where you'll find me. Perhaps I'll see you there, Eli. Farewell.
You know, I've learned some new tricks.
that was a fun interaction.
Yeah. Old poet. This kindly-looking old man spares you only the briefest of glances before returning to his recitation. Yeah, that was hard. Leave.
That word
Heckle
did
the
not
poet.
want to be defeated. Jesus.
You heckle and jeer at the poet, making fun of his style of verse, appearance, and postulated home life. You top it off by interrupting a few of his verses and completing them with bawdy rhymes of your own, which draws some chuckles from onlookers and sets the old poet, doing his best to ignore you, to gritting his teeth. Leave. Well, that just seems unnecessarily mean.
I'm gone.
Extremely. You heckle like a poet. Good lord. Jeez.
Aelwyn, this tall, slender woman occasionally looks up from her cup of wine to scan the surrounding patrons and passerby. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and her eyes, a brilliant golden color, catch the light, sparkling as she looks about. Greetings. She regards you carefully for a moment before replying. She speaks slowly and carefully, avoiding direct eye contact with you. I, Aelwyn, return your greetings. Are you looking for someone? She nods, staring wistfully into her cup of wine. Namel is her name, a friend of mine, Aelwyn's. I, Aelwyn, worry for her in this place, and wonder why she hasn't come to meet me, Aelwyn, yet. I could help you find your friend.
Updated my journal.
You would do this? She looks up from her cup, smiling, and you're suddenly overcome with a sense of hope and joyous gratitude. Seeing you tense up, she covers her mouth and averts her eyes once more, and the feelings fade to nothing. I, Aelwyn, thank you. What was that? What was what, kind stranger? She bites her lower lip. I, Aelwyn, know not of which you speak. Very well. What does Namel look like? She appears as I, Aelwyn, do, but with raven hair and eyes of bright violet. I'll tell you you're waiting for here for her, then. Farewell.
I'm gone. All right. I'm gone.
Yeah, let's sample a little food, alright?
Done.
Namel. This tall, slender woman, sipping wine from a small ceramic cup, appears to be looking for someone. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and the woman's ears, though partially covered by her long hair, can be seen to come to sharp points. Greetings. The woman turns to face you, violet eyes flashing like flawless chips of amethyst. Her speech is as music. You can hear a faint, musical tinkling, 100 tiny crystal bells, as she speaks. Each word lingers in your ears, as if they were unwilling to relinquish the exquisite sound. Namel turned to face the scarred, dour stranger. She asked what he wished of her. Wow. Anna sneers at Mort. Stop your drooling, you in school. My, what a hot-blooded little chit. Starve for attention. I could drool over you too if you're just jealous. Mort starts floating towards Anna, making wet slavering noises. Get a hair's breadth closer, Skull, and I'll see to it that not one of your chattering teeth lies within 100 paces of another. Mort stops abruptly, turning away while muttering unintelligibly.
I love when Mort completely oversteps because he's thinking he can get away with stuff by being gross, but is so quickly put into his place, and he's mad about it, even though he caused it.
You're in the Mel? I was told you know the command word for this decanter. The woman makes no move to touch or examine the decanter, but only speaks. Namel took it from the stranger, turning it in her hands. Has she seen its like before, she thought? Perhaps. Yes, she remembered now. She returned the decanter, whispering into his ear as she did so.
Updated my journal.
You realize you know the word now. Nilde no Saj. Though you're certain the woman never whispered to you. Though you're certain the woman never whispered to you, but merely said she did. She blinks at you. Would the stranger leave her now, satisfied with what she had told him? Not yet. Your friend, Aelwyn, is looking for you.
Updated my journal.
Namel's lips form a perfect smile. An infectious happiness radiates from her, clinging to you like sweet-smelling warmth. Namel was overjoyed to hear of her friend. Was Aelwyn close by? She's at a cafe east of here, across this part of the ward. Namel thanked the man for his wondrous news. Soon, she would go to visit her oldest friend, Aelwyn. Now, though, she would reward the stranger. Wait for her to reward you. She would draw the stranger close, laying her hand upon his chest and kissing the pale, leathery skin of his cheek. Life would flow into him, invigorating him. This, then, was to be his reward. Wait. As you wait, there's a light tingling sensation upon your cheek and chest. The feeling spreads across the whole of your body, and you begin to feel stronger, more animated. Thanks. I had some questions. Namel listened to the stranger's questions, but could answer none. He would have to seek his answers elsewhere. But I haven't even asked. Namel smiles at you, slowly shaking her head, your face reflected in her shimmering eyes. Frustrated, confused, he at last gave up. It was clear this woman possessed no more knowledge that was of use to him, or if she did, she could not be persuaded to share it. What? No. Let me just ask you something. You open your mouth, but no words come out. Try as you might, you cannot question her. Namel shakes her head sadly. Farewell, then.
Yeah, let's sample a little food.
This looks like a place where drinks might be served. Okay, decanter of endless water with command word. This is an ordinary-looking stoppered flask that somehow holds an endless supply of water. You know the command word for this item, Nilde no Saj, and you're confident you can put out most any fire, no matter how intense. With this, I can probably get another party member.
All right.
When will you free Ignis? As soon as I can get this to him. They say this decanter holds an endless supply of water. Yes! Use that on him and he'll be sure to come free. Oh, my Ignis, I await you! She pauses for a moment, dread in her eyes. Do you know the command word? Yes, I do. Her eyes brighten even further, if that's possible. Then use it! Use it on him now! That's what I'm about to do.
All right.
I wonder if this decanter of endless water will do something. You tilt the decanter over the grill and begin to pour. A small stream of ice blue water pours from the decanter and touches the flames of the grill with a violent hissing and a rush of steam. As if in response to this challenge, the decanter seems to lunge forward, falling onto the grill and shattering. By the hells! Hissing billows of steam and a furious crackling noise rushes from the grill, spilling over you and forcing you to cover your ears and turn away. There is a scream, a cackling, a terrible sound like 100 buildings burning, people screaming, their screams being cut short by the roar of flame and melting flesh. Cover your ears, block out the sound. As you put your hands over your ears to block out the sound, you feel a stickiness on your hands, like hot cheese or candle wax. Your ears are bleeding from the sound. You draw your hands back and see them covered with chunks of melted flesh filled with bloody swirls. Try and get out of the bar. You are about to run from the bar, anything to get away from the sound, when suddenly all falls silent except for a jagged crackling coming from the grill. You turn. On the grill lies the decanter of endless water, now nothing but shards and steam. Above it is the creature, flames still trailing from its body, floating over the bar's floor. It is staring at you, its eyes flickering like two torches. I know you. The creature's face splits, charred flesh peeling away from its jaw so that it might speak. Its voice crackles, burns, roars through the creature's chest, and with every word, flakes of cinder and ash spit from its mouth and drift into the air. You can barely stand to look at the thing. The blazing radiance surrounding it is terrible to behold. Ignis.
Yes, long have I slept dreams of flames. I am yours till death comes for us both.
The creature floats towards you, the air bending from the thermal surrounding it. As if in response, flames curl within Ignis's throat, and a tongue of flame streams from behind his blackened teeth. We shall see. Ignis's Fireball. This is Ignis's main attack. It is a series of fireballs he fires at an opponent. No more talk and wonder. Ignis wishes to burn. Ignis burns so long ago. Yet, once, Ignis knew nothing of flames. He set small fires, tiny flames, tiny flickerings. The fires grew. Ignis set fires in their streets and hit the fires of anger in their hearts. They sought to punish Ignis, the small flies from the hive. They wished to see Ignis burn after Ignis set fire to their streets. Tiny magelings, hedge wizards, runecasters, tiny sparks of magic came to punish Ignis for hurting their loved ones. They sent Ignis to burn, made Ignis a torch, a spitting flame, burning. But it was not a sentence. Oh no, but it was justice, they said. But it was not a sentence. There's so much flames and pain that there is no pain. There is light and heat, and the flesh runs as tallow across my bones. And for the first time, Ignis was pleased. When the plains burn and all life is torches, then Ignis shall at last be at peace.
That was cool. I really liked the voice choice.
Thank you. Huh. Chaotic neutral. I was sure this guy was gonna be evil aligned.
Done.
Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that. As you approach the woman to talk to her, Ignis's eyes flare up, and before you can stop him, he embraces her. She returns his embrace, losing herself in his flames. She does not cry out. Your last glimpse of her is burned into your memory. Her eyes are full of fiery passion and all-engulfing love. Nothing is left of her, not even ashes. That was thorough, Ignis, and hasty. I wanted to speak with her. Ignis, what happened to you to make you this way? This way. A small pocket of flesh on Ignis's cheek pops and runs in a streaming trickle down his jaw. This way. Ignis always was. But you look human, or at least you look like you were human once. Ignis twists, hunching his head forward as his body spins slowly above the ground. The effect is much like a fiery whirlwind, thermal streaming off his body and distorting the air around him. Still Ignis. Always Ignis. Never mind then. I had some other quest. As you open your mouth to speak, Ignis suddenly whirls on you. You are forced to choke back your words as the heat from his frame floods over you. Ignis, might you be sparks and bodies, always seeking to rise. Sparks and bodies? What do you mean? All things burn inside. Ignis's head cranes back and throws his arms wide. Spirals of flame and heat traveling up his arms. Only need to be kindled with flames to become Ignis. So might you have been Ignis. So, you're saying everyone has the potential to become like you with the right spark? Yeah. Ignis grins, cocking his head to one side, ashes falling from his skull and being swept up in the flaming reef that surrounds him. I have some other questions for you. Your heart jumps as Ignis soars several feet into the air, and his jaw tears open, fiery trails spilling forth like a nest of snakes. No more talking questions! Silence! You will answer my questions, Ignis. I set you free, and I may send you back to your hell again. Think you could shine, Ignis? The flames around Ignis swirl like a cloak, then fan outwards, as if seeking to caress you, kill you, turn you to ashes. Ignis can. For now, Ignis follows, but threats, anger Ignis. Actually, Ignis, you couldn't stop me. You could burn me, but I'd keep coming at you until you were kindling. So enough with the threats. There's a crackling in the air, and Ignis cocks his head slightly, as if stunning you, then hisses. Flame will burn the immortality from you. You are not safe from my flames. Maybe you don't know what immortality means, Ignis. You are not immortal. Ignis can kill you. Gather your ashes to the wind. You watch as he flings his arms wide, and a heat pours from him. So powerful you are forced to shield your eyes. There's a great roaring as a fair air flees past you, being drawn into Ignis. Ignis, stop this! As you try to shout at Ignis to stop, the tide of heat turns back upon itself, and a blazing heat washes over you. You feel your flesh begin to smolder and smoke, and the beginnings of pain. You clench your teeth, and over the pain, you can hear Ignis cackling, crackling laughter. Ignis!
Updated my journal.
As you shout his name again, the heat dies. As you draw your arms back from your face, you see that your skin has blackened from where Ignis burned it. And Ignis is watching you hungrily. You know, more than anything, that whatever Ignis is, whatever power that has embraced him, it has the power to destroy you. If his flames were to kill you, there would be nothing left of your body. Very well, Ignis. We shall speak later then, you and I.
Oh, jeez. Also, do you have water nearby to refresh your throat? You're gonna thrash yourself.
Yeah, I have a drink.
Okay, cool. Take a minute, rest your vocals for like a hot second, because them voices will go hurt.
Yeah.
And that gives me a chance to just sit down and yap for a minute. Y'all, this is an angry flame man. This is a very angry, very upset mother flamer. Jesus. My thing is, I think we put him in that position, which is why he can die. We've lived too many lives for us not to have accidentally gotten Ignis here.
The fact that we know him means that we definitely had something to do with that whole situation of what he did and how he ended up like this. I guess just the details of exactly what is probably not revealed yet.
Agreed.
Alright. I have had enough of you, Ignis. Perhaps you can kill me, perhaps not. I'm willing to put it to the test. Ignis howls, a horrible, screaming roar, and a fiery radiance suddenly surrounds him, and his eyes. His eyes are like windows to some other place. He raises his hands, flames crackling along the edges, growing to become great flaming whips. You shall burn. Ignis, you asked for this.
Die.
All right.
Well, the more you know.
You could say you got a little crispy there, my friend. Just a smidgen.
What were you doing in the smoldering corpse bar? For a moment, you don't think Ignis has heard you, when suddenly the fires in his eyes dim slightly, and he gives a small hiss, cinders and ash dancing at the edges of his jaw. Ignis once knew nothing of flames. Yes. once. Ignis, you napping of flames. You set small fires, tiny flames, tiny flickerings, small bits of flame. Ignis hisses again, ashes and fiery motes drifting from the ruin of his mouth. The fires grew. Ignis set fires in their streets and lit the fires of anger in their hearts. Yes? You speak, but Ignis doesn't seem to hear you. He seems to be somewhere else, as if reliving a memory through his words. Against your will, you stop and listen. Oh, this is literally his biography. Etc., etc., etc. Etc. Ignis stops his rotation, and his gaze falls upon you. As it does, the fires in his eyes flare, and a charred grin splits his features, the flesh crackling and bubbling as it melts and streams across his face. Ignis wears the face of all hells, of flames, and his next words are spoken like a death sentence, not only for you, but for everyone, everywhere. And this. I see. Some other questions. But I wish to speak of flames, Ignis, and of burning. Your words are like oil, and you watch them fill Ignis's eyes, fanning the flames you see there. Flames? Ignis drifts down slightly, the heat around him rising, as if in interest. Speak. Ignis will listen. Ignis, you're master of the art. Can you teach me any of your powers? Ignis wants you much, no longer. Ignis burns in suffering. Ignis learns. A tiny flame gusts from his mouth, like laughter, and a stream of embers spits forth. Suffer. Learn. I am willing to suffer for such knowledge. As you are about to speak the words, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull, and you are suddenly struck with the certainty that the knowledge Ignis has to teach may permanently scar you. But you don't know how you know this. Repeat. I am willing to suffer for such knowledge. Suffer. Flames flicker eagerly along the edges of Ignis's mouth, spiraling up along the melted ruin of his face. Burn. Pieces of self are burned away. Ignis may still teach much. I wish to learn, Ignis. Can you teach me some of the art? Where flames once burned, one may send them again. Before you can react, Ignis's claw lashes out and clutches your finger, and with a greedy hiss, he burns it, and through the searing pain, you close your eyes and scream. You force your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand from where Ignis touched it. He floats above, uncaring, cradling your finger, then snaps the tip off, leaving just the base. He hisses, cinders and ash drifting from his mouth, and he flicks the charred remains of your finger back to you. What did you do?
Updated my journal.
Teachings. Ignis cackles, the sound now strangely painful to your ear. To learn, one must suffer. I wish to learn more. Suffer. Okay, same dialogue. I wish to learn, Ignis. Can you teach me some more of the art? You force your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand from where Ignis touched it. Only a blackened stump remains, twitching, blood steaming from it. Ignis seems oblivious to your pain. His attention is devoted to your severed hand, which he is holding, admiring it like a trophy. Ignis, give me back my hand. Ignis ignores you. You watch as flames from his hands encircle your severed hand like a reef, slowly burning the last remains of flesh from it, like a sculptor, until only the fused bone remains. He gives a long, low hiss, and then flings his creation back to you. You manage to catch it in your remaining hand. You notice the flesh of your severed hand is reknitting itself, slowly, painfully. It looks like it's regrowing. What did you do?
Updated my journal.
Ignis hurls himself into the air, leaving a hissing flame trail as he rises. No more! Pieces of self are burned away. Ignis, yet no more of sharing will Ignis teach. You need pieces of me in order to teach me? What about my eyeball? Ignis lashes out again, his finger like a spear, but he doesn't strike for the eye that you can remove. Instead, he impales your other eye. There is no pain for a moment, only surprise. Then you scream as Ignis lets loose a stream of flames into your socket. They seem to eat into your skull. The hiss of burning flesh fills your nostrils and smoke clouds your vision. You force your eyes open through your bloodied vision. Yet only one eye opens. You can barely make out Ignis hovering in the air in front of you, his hands cupping a small orb of flame in his hands. Your eye, seemingly untouched by the heat. As you watch, his hands cover the eye, and you feel a second burning pain in your eye socket. And suddenly, even through the searing pain, you can see correctly again. Ignis opens his hand, and within it, you can see the ruined mass of your eyeball, barely recognizable. Yet, your eye is still in its socket. He cackles, and with a breath of flame, the eyeball rises from his grasp and drifts over to you, like a flake of ash in the air. Take the eye, your eyeball.
Updated my journal.
Tiny snakes of flame spiral from Ignis's ruined sockets, traveling up past his charred skull. More teachings. The two snakes of flame circle around behind him, then flare into torches in his hands. More suffering. I am willing to suffer for more knowledge. Can you teach me any more? Very well. I wish to speak more of flames and burning, Ignis. I have no further questions. Let your dreams be filled with flames, Ignis. No speak! Ignis howls, and the air around you twists again from the sheer amount of heat. Speak of flames! Speak of the burning! Ignis, have you ever felt a building aflame? The flames licking the edges of the timbers, blackening the wood beneath. Watching the heat peel the paint from the walls, thatch crackling, the smell of burning straw. As you speak, the crackling of the flames around Ignis's frame ebbs, as if the flames themselves are listening to your words. When you finish, Ignis hisses softly, and the flames in his eyes have dimmed, as if he is lost in a memory. Yes. We'll speak again later, Ignis. Stay calm in the meantime.
All right.
Ignis's charm allows user to copy Seeky Flames into Spellbook. This is your charred right index finger. The tip has been snapped off, and the flesh that once surrounded the bone has been turned to ash. It was but a touch from... Sorry about that, my headset disconnected for a moment. Anyways, let's try it again. This is your charred right index finger. The tip has been snapped off, and the flesh that once surrounded the bone has been turned to ash. It was but a touch from Ignis, but it was enough to leave lingering, blackened scars on your hand. To make matters worse, you notice that your flesh has healed slowly and poorly from the wound. If Ignis were to attack you with a rage, he might be able to muster enough heat and flames that recovering would be difficult. Perhaps even destroy you. The thought doesn't please you. Ignis has hinted that this charred remain of your finger somehow holds a fraction of his infernal power, now passed on to you. To invoke his power, you must slice off your finger again, place the stump there, then let the flesh heal over it. When this occurs, the traces of Ignis that remain upon the finger will kindle a small portion of knowledge within you. This is your charred hand. It has been severed at the wrist, and the flesh that once surrounded the bone has been scoured clean, leaving only the stark white bones behind. Despite the lack of muscle and skin, however, the bones of the hand have been fused together so that the bones do not fall apart. The pain of having the hand separated from you was almost more than you could bear, and it left lingering, blackened scars on your wrists and arm. To make matters worse, you notice that your flesh has healed slowly and poorly from the wound. If Ignis were to attack you with a rage, he might be able to muster enough heat and flames that recovering would be difficult, perhaps even destroy you. The thought doesn't please you. Ignis has hinted that this charred remain of your hand somehow holds a fraction of his infernal power, now passed on to you. To invoke his power, you must slice off your hand again. Place a skeletal hand there, then let the flesh heal over it. When this occurs, the traces of Ignis that remain upon the charred bones will kindle a portion of Ignis's knowledge within you. Ignis's eye. This is the scorched remains of your eye, blistered by Ignis's touch. Ignis has hinted that this charred remain of your eye somehow holds a fraction of his infernal power, now passed on to you. To invoke its power, you must crush the blackened eyeball between both your hands, then take the ashes and touch them to each eyelid. Doing so will transfer a small portion of Ignis's arcane knowledge to you, giving you the knowledge of how to show others brief, terrible glimpses of the elemental forces Ignis draws upon. The sight is usually enough to cause living creatures to flee for their lives. Oh, neat. I'm chaotic good now.
Nice. I mean, yeah, a lot of our solutions have been very much fuck around and find out.
Chaotic good. Chaotic good characters aren't concerned with structure or order. They are individualists who tend toward performing acts of kindness.
I'm gone.
Tongues of flame. The flame scorches and burns. Its hatred arcs and swirls as it strikes the enemy without error. This spell summons a missile of flame that strikes its target unerringly for 2 to 5 points of magical fire damage with no saving throw possible. In addition, the caster gains 1 extra missile every 2 levels, for a total of 5 missiles at level 9. Seeking Flames. As a maintainer of life, fire is a true blessing, yet as it warms, it also burns. While it is a blessing, it is also a curse. Its scorching flames distract and weaken all enemies who succumb to its effects. The Seeking Flames grant all enemy targets in a 50-foot radius -1 to attacks and -1 to their saving throws for 30 seconds.
Dang.
Ignis' Terror. Terror exists in many forms throughout the multiverse. This incantation calls upon one of the most basic, universal forms of terror, the fire of destruction, to destroy courage and strike fear into all adversaries. This spell causes all non-undead creatures within a 30-foot radius of the target point to flee in terror from the area if they fail their saving throw at a -1 penalty. A sphere of fiery red is called upon to weaken and slow the enemy. Caster summons a large, magical orb of fire, which can then be hurled at a target using the caster's normal attack roll. The caster gains a +3 to hit bonus to his attack roll. The orb does 1 to 6 points of damage, and inflicts a -1 penalty to the enemy's strength and dexterity for 10 seconds. Fiery Rain. Streams of fiery rain streak down upon the target, burning and crushing it into submission. The caster chooses a single target within range. Then, a stream of fiery meteors rain down and strike the target and surrounding area. 1 meteor for each level of experience, up to a maximum of 10. Each missile that inflicts 1 to 2 inflicts 1 to 2 points of blunt damage and 1 to 4 points of fire damage. Anyone within 3 feet of the target takes 1 point of fire damage as well. Infernal Shield. Even the Great Destroyer is halted by this mystical barrier. When cast, all fiery effects are absorbed and altered into healing energies. Works on caster only. The spell creates a fiery shield that bestows 150% normal fire resistance and 150% magical fire resistance. The spell will expire after 5 seconds per level of the caster. I see, 150%, which means that the first 100% will nullify the damage entirely, and then the 50% will cause half of that damage to be gained as healing.
Oh.
Elemental Strike. Globes of elemental force fly forth and explode upon impact. Those within range are caught in its blast wave as well. Like the magic missile, the spell creates a mystical globe of elemental energy, which will successfully hit its target for 2 to 8 points of damage, regardless of saving throw. It then explodes with a concussive blast that does 1 point of damage per level of caster within a 3-foot radius. If a saving throw is made when this concussive damage is negated, then this concussive damage is negated. The wizard creates 1 missile at 7th plus an additional missile every 3rd level after 7th, for a max of 7 missiles.
A lot of words.
Yeah. I should probably try to have well, maybe I don't need knock at all. It seems that Anna's been getting better at removing locks lately.
That is true. She hasn't needed any assistance.
But Dakon definitely needs more to have more level 2 spells in his book, since I like the nameless one is a better user of Blood Bridge, and Power 1 doesn't seem nearly useful enough to be used 4 times per day.
That sounds reasonable.
All right. All right.
What's our next move?
Well, I was going to check with Fel first to see if there are any new tattoos.
Sounds like a plan.
Tattoo of Justice's Eye invokes Detect Evil. This tattoo tells of your efforts to help Trist and depicts the arrest and trial of Byron Pickett. This tattoo bolsters the eye and mind of the wearer. It allows the wearer to perceive injustices and grants the user the strength to correct them. The tattoo's power may only be used a limited number of times, but when Detect Evil is exhausted, the tattoo will remain. This tattoo tells of your experiences in escaping the tenement of the starved dogs. The tattoo has the same color as the adder's tear which Sybil gave you. It gives you an additional bonus to your stealth as long as it is inscribed on your flesh. Tattoo of Trist. This tattoo symbolizes your efforts to win Trist's freedom. When worn, it protects the wearer from chains, paralyzation, or any other attacks that chain or hold an individual. This tattoo recognizes your efforts to calm the restless dead of the mausoleum. You may draw upon their gratitude to bless yourself or your companions. This tattoo only has a limited number of uses before it vanishes. Tattoo of the Art. This tattoo enhances your natural talent for the art, heightening your reasoning and deductive abilities and increasing your spell memorization capacity. I'll definitely have to get that one when I get the money for it.
Definitely.
Tattoo of Death and Life. This tattoo tells of how you saved Dimtree's life by granting him a second death. Whether it was the intensity of Dimtree's gratitude or channeling of the power in the words you spoke to free him, this tattoo now allows you to draw from that experience and pull someone back from the brink of death. This tattoo will only work 3 times before it fades from the skin. Tattoos of Dreams of Essanon. For some reason, the tale of the Crier of Essanon filled you with a strange nostalgia, which you have related to Fel. This tattoo draws upon both this nostalgia and the perseverance of the Criers of Essanon, granting a boon to your health and your endurance. Artistically, this is some of Fel's best work. Although this tattoo shows the barest image of Essanon that you can almost feel, tattoo shows the barest image of Essanon that you heard from the Crier of Essanon, you can almost feel the great spiraling parks and avenues of light through this intricate symbol. This tattoo helps preserve the memory of the city and the dream of its people that its majesty might be remembered. Tattoo of Ignis. Having Ignis as a companion is allowing you to see flames and madness in a different light. When this tattoo is worn, you may draw upon Ignis's fury to shrug off flame attacks and increase your constitution, making your threshold of pain that much higher. Unfortunately, since Ignis's strength lies in his madness, your wisdom is impaired when this tattoo is worn upon the skin, and your susceptibility to magical attacks increases. This tattoo can only call upon its ability to protect the wearer from flames for a limited number of times. When the tattoo's power is exhausted, however, the constitution bonus will remain.
I don't know about that one.
Tattoo of the Skull. For all Mor's faults, having him as a companion makes you seem more capable and not so much of a stranger to Sigil streets. This tattoo reinforces that bond, giving you +1 to charisma, and, when invoked, it also lends you some of Mort's luck and his ability to shrug off anything that would otherwise cause him to stop talking, such as paralyzation or stunning. Unfortunately, it also gives the user a penalty for their wisdom, which is not hard to understand, considering how little Mort has to spare.
They did not hold back on that one.
Tattoo of Bloodletting. This tattoo has a barbed whip inscribed on it. When the wearer strikes an opponent in combat, the tattoo flares and the whip takes an extra bite out of the opponent. Tattoo of Grosuk's Demise. This tattoo tells you of your efforts to aid Sebastian by slaying Grosuk the Abishai. This tattoo draws upon that experience and bolsters the wearer's brute strength to evade unpleasant legal entanglements. This tattoo's power is limited. When its power is exhausted, it will vanish without a trace. Okay. I'm going to wrap up soon, but before I do, first I'll check my journal. Okay, and then I'm going to go Probably back to the clerk's ward. Let's see. Oh yeah, I will go back to the clerk's ward. Yep. Just gonna go to the clerk's ward. And then I'm going to go back to the brothel to see if I can invite Fall from Grace into the party. But I'll do
All
that
right.
next session.
Sounds like a good plan to me. We have made a really, really decent headway this one.
Yeah, that was a great session. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Even if, regardless of whether you talked or just lurked, or of course, thanks to our raiders, and anybody else who did any form of participation. Like we always appreciate your presence, even if you never say anything. We appreciate our lurkers. And yeah, of course. Thank you for coming, Charlie. And as always, Molly Oleander and myself will be streaming on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can find I upload the VODs of our streams to my YouTube channel, which you can find the link for on this channel. And there's also a link to my Twitter account where I can where I'll I'll make posts if I have to cancel a stream or whatever. So yeah, once again, thank you everybody, and we'll well, first of all, anything you'd like to add, Oleander?
Nah, I'll just go over real fast. Every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, find me in the Disorderly Tech here, as always on a Monday. Other than that, no. We look forward to having more time and hanging out with y'all again. Once again, thank you, everybody, and I'll turn it back to you, Tick.
All right. Thank you. You have a good night as well, Nikki Nightmare, and everybody else. Have a good night. We hope to see you again next week, and take care. Thank you for coming.